Hello again, this is Randy with Esk8 for Old School. Today I want to share with you some statistics that I got from the Ride app that I recently learned from another YouTuber that I can use to track my distance and my speed on my DIY build. And I have to say I am quite pleased with what I found out. So I highly recommend this app. It's called the Ride app. This is what it looks like in the App Store. You will have to look for it. I had to scroll down several to search on Ride, and then you scroll down and you'll find the Ride app. And it's an app that's made specifically for Esk8, so it's well suited for this particular purpose. I learned some good things from using this app, and I'm going to share that with you in this episode. Before getting into the Ride app itself, I want to share with you some mathematics behind the DIY Esk8 build that will make the information in the Ride app more relevant. I am using Lipo battery cells. Each battery cell is 4.2 volts max. The nominal is 3.7 volts per cell, which is the mid-range voltage for a given cell. And the minimum is 3.2 volts per cell. So as the batteries discharge, I never want to go below 3.2 volts per cell or that battery cell dies on me, and I always want to prevent that. So I'm using 12 cells in series. So with 12 cells in series, that gives me 12 times 4.2, 50.4 volts maximum for my battery. The nominal value is 12 times 3.7 or 44.4 volts nominal. And the minimum is 12 times 3.2, which is 38.4 volts minimum. Now for how I use my board, I never go below 40 volts just to be on the safe side. So I go from 50.4 down to 40. I never go below 40. I figured going down to as low as 40 is fairly safe. Now from there, we can get into calculating our watt hours rating. So the watt hours rating is considered to be the standard for how to calculate the mileage range for a given battery. So for this calculation, you take the milliamp hours times the nominal voltage divided by 1,000 to give you the watt hours. So on my current battery, I have 5,000 milliamp hours. Take that times 44.4 nominal volts divided by 1,000 and you get 222 watt hours. Now I have a battery that is in the mail. It's on the way. I don't have it yet, but I'm referring to that as my new battery. It has 20,000 milliamp hours, giving us a watt hour rating of 888. There's a website called Esk8 News. It's a forum for Esk8 DIY builders. On that site, there's an article that gives you the formula for the mileage and range. And from that site, I got this formula. So watt hours divided by 30 times the efficiency gives you the range in miles. So for my current battery, it's a 222 watt hours divided by 30 times 0.9, which gives me a range of 6.7 miles. And on the new battery, which I don't have yet, that comes out to 26.6 miles per charge on the new battery. So what I'm going to do using the Ride app is I'm going to test out this theory that I should get about 6.7 miles with my current battery, which is 5,000 milliamp hours. So I'm going to take a ride and I'm going to find out what my mileage is and how much of my battery that I use up, and I'll come back and do an update to see how close the 6.7 miles is to what I actually experienced. So please excuse my ugly battery indicator, but I wanted to show you that I'm starting off with 100% battery power, and to be more precise, it's at 50.2 volts. We'll see how far we drain that in our ride. Okay, so I'm going to start my Ride app. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in my pocket and start my ride. All right, I'm at the end of my ride, and my battery is now down to 45.1 volts, which of course is not even the nominal voltage. I had to go get my glasses in order to see the results of the Ride app. So the results from the Ride app are in two parts. This first part is a map of the ride, which is pretty neat. It shows me the route that I took, and it uses a little icon to show the point in the route where you hit your top speed. Now you can't see it in this copy of the map for some reason. I don't know why, but anyway, it does do that, and it shows a little red arrow there. Was my both my starting point and my ending point for my ride. The second part of the Ride app, and the part that's more interesting to me, is the part that shows the statistics. So here it gives you the timing that I rode for 24 minutes. I went 5.8 miles. Now that's pretty significant because you know that I used up less than half of my battery power, and I already went 5.8 miles. So we'll see how that calculates out in terms of how much mileage I actually get out of my battery compared to the expected amount of mileage supposed to get out of the battery. You can also see here that my top speed was 29.2 miles per hour. That is really fast. And I was trying to ride fast. I still haven't hit the top speed of my board, but I am fascinated and thrilled to know that the speed of my DIY board is right up there with some of the best boards out there on the market. You see my average speed of 16.3 miles per hour, my elevation gain of 659 feet, and my elevation loss of 672 feet. So, as I've noted before in the past, I do have quite a bit of hills in my neighborhood when I'm riding. I got 5.8 miles using less than half of the battery and going through a lot of hills. And also keep in mind that I am over 220 pounds. Someone that's lighter would get even better mileage. And all these hills also have an effect on the mileage of the battery. And for me, this is an average ride for me, maybe a little bit longer than average. I generally tend to stop when my feet start to get tired or my neck gets tired from looking in a single direction. I'm very happy with these results. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to top 30 miles per hour at some point. That's plenty fast enough for me. So let's see how this looks on paper. Getting back to our numbers, our mileage calculation according to the watt hours came out to 6.7 miles predicted with my current battery, which is 5,000 milliamp hours. That came down to 222 watt hours and a mileage calculation of 6.7 miles predicted. We saw from the Ride app that my actual miles was 5.8 miles, and that was using only 43% of the battery power. If we fudge that a little bit, we can assume that the actual miles for the whole battery would be approximately around 12 miles, rounding this up to 6 and multiplying by 2. From there, I calculated backwards into my mileage range formula, and I figured I'll adjust this fudge factor of 30, this magic number, to what makes sense for my battery and my weight and my ride. So that came out to using a fudge factor of 17 instead of 30. So 222 divided by 17 times 0.9 comes up to 11.75 miles, which is close enough to 12 for me. So using that, I calculate the mileage that I can expect from my new battery. Recall once again, my new battery is 2,000 milliamp hours, which comes out to 888 watt hours. You take 888 watt hours divided by my new fudge factor of 17, and that comes out to a whopping 47 miles range expected from this Lipo battery. That's quite incredible. With the way that I ride, that means I can ride about 10 times before I have to recharge my batteries, given my normal way that I ride my board. Anyway, that's the video. I hope that you liked it. I hope you found it interesting. Please share, like, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Thanks.